Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Tom Spark. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be checking out Mozilla VPN. This is the VPN from Mozilla. Now, in a lot of ways, it's just kind of a Mullvad rebrand. But the question might be, should you be using Mozilla VPN or Mullvad VPN? Should you be using other? Are there better answers out there? Well, the TLDW, I guess, would be that there probably are better other VPNs to use out there. You can find those on vpntierlist.com. Check out tier 1 VPNs. That's a little bit of a spoiler for this video, but if you want to see in detail why I think perhaps you should use another VPN or what's wrong with this one, it's not the worst VPN out there, but there are some things I think they could improve with it. So if you want to find out what things those are, let's get into the review. Alright guys, so this is Mozilla VPN's main page. Quite a simple design, and that's kind of a characteristic which will continue through the service. They don't even really have that detailed of a pricing page. The pricing page itself is kind of odd in that it's like you kind of make an account and then sign up through your payment. I can't really remember exactly when I was going through the payment what options it had, so I'm going to show that again. It's only $5 a month, which is actually a pretty good price, just like Mullvad VPN, which this service is using their kind of network and just overall VPN service pretty much. Although there are some limitations, I think, more so than Mullvad in some ways. If we're looking at Firefox VPN in terms of, a yearly price, it's $60, which isn't that impressive. They do kind of stick with that $5 price point, which I like per month. However, I do think you can have this $5 a month price tag and still have an affordable yearly plan. Stuff like VPN is only $5 a month, but it's also only $30 a year if you sign up for 1 year. And this one is going to be $60, which is double the price. So I do like this kind of plan where it's simplistic pricing, not pushing you into 3-year plans. But I do think there is some wiggle room additionally for up to a yearly plan for a commitment plan. So I don't think anything past a year is that recommended for me on my channel because I don't like long commitment plans, but I do think Mozilla could have offered a little bit more savings for longer term commitments. And I probably don't think they ever will because they're just kind of copying Mullvad, using Mullvad and kind of sticking with the same model. So guys, I'll walk you through what the payment looks like. Basically, you're going to create your account, and it's more create your account for than some other services. You're not seeing that pricing page like I discussed. It kind of just gets you in there and to create account right away. At the same time, it's like pushing you to create your account before you're like, picking the payment plan, which is a little bit odd, but not really that problematic, I suppose. I don't really know why Mozilla is asking you for your age here. I'm just going to put, I don't know, that might get flagged for not being able to use a service or something like that. You will have to enter in a real email, so I'm gonna have to do that for this test anyway. One thing I don't like about Mozilla VPN in terms of payment is really simple, and that they're only letting you pay with your credit card. You can use something like privacy.com, which I can use to pay for semi-anonymously, but it doesn't offer anything like Bitcoin, gift cards. It doesn't look like it really accepts cash like Mullvad, so there's not really any good anonymous way to pay for it, which is definitely disappointing. And I could see them not just adding any other options in the future. It's kind of funny they don't even add stuff like Amazon or PayPal for easy payment options. Now we could take a look at this product here. So Mozilla VPN is pretty much using the same thing as Mullvad, but even a more stripped down version. Now, if you guys have seen my Mullvad application analysis in the latest Mullvad review I did just maybe a month or two ago, you'll know that Mullvad VPN, while it's pretty secure and stuff like that, it doesn't really have the customization and those kind of settings that I'm really looking for in a VPN provider. If we look at this one as well, this is pretty much all you're gonna get in terms of settings. You have 2 little toggles here. We don't see anything important, however, like we do see in Mullvad. Stuff like kill switches are not available, which is pretty much mandatory in my opinion, because if for some reason this disconnects, it will make sure to disable my network adapter so my IP does not leak. Additionally, other VPNs provide stuff like application kill switches, so if this did connect, it will shut down BitTorrent or other applications. We could run it fully through the application analysis in 1 second just to see what it is missing. However, in terms of usability and stuff like that, I think the application is fine or quite good. It's very easy for noobs or beginners to VPN, and it's just kind of like the most simplistic VPN you can really kind of get. Although I think I did touch on this a little bit in the pricing section, I think 5 simultaneous devices is quite low. We see more and more VPNs offering stuff like 8 to 10 simultaneous connections nowadays, so it's disappointing to see only 5. So there you go. Let's go ahead and look at the application analysis now. So guys, taking Firefox VPN through the application analysis, or Mozilla VPN, I don't know, I think they kind of probably should have named it Firefox, but I guess Firefox is the browser, so I guess it's called Mozilla. The two names are kind of interchangeable for me in a lot of ways. We don't see the application kill switch like I mentioned before, or the network kill switch. We don't have dedicated IP support to integrate custom IPs. These can sometimes be useful for unblocking streaming services or making it so websites don't detect you're using a VPN as easily, making it so you don't have to fill out captchas and stuff like that. We only have WireGuard support, which is good. I mean, that is the newest and probably going to be the best protocol to use in the future, but it's disappointing to see that we do not have support for older protocols like OpenVPN or IKEv2, usually which VPNs will support, and I'm pretty sure that Mullvad does support those as well. We don't see ad blocking features here at all, which is going to be cool. I guess you can integrate stuff within Firefox and stuff like that. Maybe that's why they didn't bother, but I do like to see that in VPNs just as an extra kind of feature to play around with. Stuff like split tunneling isn't offered here, which makes it so you can use VPN for certain applications and not other things. There's no proxy support. Sometimes it's nice to have another layer of anonymization, as like to scramble your IP. We don't see any obfuscation techniques, which basically means you can unblock VPN restrictions or hide your VPN use. Stuff like port customization to hide your VPN port or change it, or even your DNS customization to change the DNS. We don't see any options to change the encryption customization, which is usually more of a standard with an OpenVPN. Stuff like script support, of course, is not here, which is pretty cool with some VPNs like TorGuard. You could customize scripts and make custom scripts to launch TorGuard or close specific apps when you're closing it. Stuff like that can be pretty powerful. We don't see even stuff like server favoriting, which is the ability to favorite a server so you can easily find it next time, although I think it will default to the one you did use last time. We do see the ability to change between servers pretty easily. As you can see here, it's very fluid and easy to change servers, so it does get a yes there. However, we don't see that much information about the servers or what kind of latency and stuff they're presenting. So just in terms of transparency to see what kind of load is on the servers, stuff like AirVPN, and I think even IPVanish are, more notable for doing cool stuff like this. Overall, guys, this application analysis for Mozilla VPN is not super promising. Like I said, it's missing a lot of customization, a lot of security features that you would expect from a higher tier VPN in the tier list. I do want to look at Mullvad really quickly just to see how it would compare to, I guess, the main kind of app from the service they're using. So taking a look at Mullvad VPN, which I reviewed around a month ago, it does have more features than Firefox or Mozilla VPN, whatever you want to call it. It does have the network kill switch, which is very important. It does have a little bit more obfuscation techniques. But besides that, there's actually not as much difference as I kind of thought. We don't have, IKEv2 support and stuff like that. Pretty sure it does have OpenVPN support though, whereas this one doesn't. So I think both these applications, while they're pretty secure in terms of, just I guess connecting and stuff like that, they do lack security and customization in that you can't customize a lot of these things. Power users are not going to be satisfied with Mozilla VPN, I don't think. In terms of the privacy policy and reputation, I do not have any problems with this one. It's pretty much just going to be using Mullvad as a service, and the logging policies here are nothing to be worried about. They do not really collect anything. Mullvad VPN itself, the thing it's using, has a very good reputation here on the channel. They don't really have a history of doing anything shady or being untrustworthy. And Mozilla itself, while I'm not a huge fan of Firefox per se in terms of usability, and they did have a pretty bad kind of search query bug, which was sending your search requests to your ISP. You could see the video on that about the channel if you just probably look up something like Firefox. I don't really have a problem with the company itself per se. I do think it's a decent company behind it, and I do like Mullvad as a company as well. So just like Mullvad VPN, I didn't really expect Mozilla VPN to work that well with streaming services, and it doesn't. It's not going to work with Hulu, Prime Video, BBC iPlayer, and it's not even really going to work with stuff like Netflix. So now that I'm back to Netflix, the way you can test to see if it works with Netflix,
is to look up the Twilight Zone. I'm based in the US right now according to the server, but it's only showing me Netflix originals, not content on the USA version of Netflix. You can find more information about how this works in some of my videos on the channel. The basic idea is that not every VPN is going to serve you geo-specific content, whereas most VPNs will just kind of show you up Netflix originals like this. So if you want a VPN that will actually show you more content, you're probably going to need a VPN that is what I would define as compatible with Netflix and unblocking geo restrictions. Other VPNs will also work with Prime Video, Hulu, BBC iPlayer, and stuff like that. So guys, what about speed? Well, I just clicked on the wrong thing. Speed tests here aren't really that impressive, but as you know here on the channel, that's only one metric we take a look at. And unsurprisingly, Mozilla VPN is going to be pretty damn fast for torrenting. This is actually a better speed test than I got last time. But if we take a look at something like this, just doing a Mullvad test last month, like I said, we did get very impressive speeds, and since this is using WireGuard, it's no surprise to see that once it kind of gets started here, it's going to be in top tier for speeds. Last time I was doing the test, maybe like an hour or two ago, I was getting up to like 40 megabits a second here, so that's really fast. Right now it's kind of struggling to get started a little bit, but yeah, let me tell you guys, this one is pretty fast, just like Mullvad. You can see it picking up a little bit here. Definitely probably 5 out of 5 for speeds. I don't know why the speed test wasn't too good, but you know, that's just kind of the name of the game. Sometimes these speed tests aren't really good and they don't really mean too much. That's why we do this torrent test. And as you can see, 35.2 megabytes a second downloading this torrent. It's gonna download this gig or two really fast. So no problems with speeds really at all. So guys, in summation of this review, Mozilla VPN gets a 3.0 out of 5, barely making tier 2. Why exactly does it get a lower rating than Mullvad? Well, its pricing is not as anonymous, even though it's pretty much the same price. You can't really send in cash. The sign-up creation isn't as anonymous as like the code system that Mullvad has. There's not really cryptocurrency or that many payment selections besides your Visa gift card. So in order to sign up for this, you're pretty much going to have to give away your real identity. Unless, of course, using something like privacyvpn.com, which is semi-anonymous for people outside the USA. That's definitely not an option, and in some ways it's better to use other stuff like Monero when possible, signing up anonymously for VPN, and that's not going to be possible here. The application, like Mullvad, is also very basic, perhaps even more so in that it doesn't include a kill switch. It doesn't include some of the older protocols, which are still pretty good to use nowadays. Like I said, it doesn't include kill switches, neither application nor network, or pretty much any other feature we're really looking for. The application looks good, it works fine, but it's not going to be customizable and as secure as other options in the tier 1 category. Speed, however, is very good. Using Mullvad servers and networks was not surprising to me to see very good speeds for downloading, although the speed test was kind of meh. Reputation is very good. I do trust Mullvad, the company behind the VPN here. Firefox is okay, the company itself, Mozilla, so 5 out of 5. Support, well, I'm going to give it a little bit lower than Mullvad because it's kind of like you're going through Firefox to get help from another VPN service, or I guess Mozilla. And so there's going to be a little bit of a, I think, delay in support there. They don't have live chat. Streaming, unfortunately, doesn't work with anything, so do not pick this one if you are looking to use Netflix or any other streaming service with it. Overall, this is not a bad VPN that's just simple and fast. However, there are VPNs out there that can get you better prices long term, give you comparable speeds or just as fast, give you more streaming support, better and quicker support options, and perhaps cheaper prices long term as well, and more secure apps that are more customizable. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out this review of Mozilla VPN, and I'll see you again on the next VPN review whenever I find one that's worth reviewing.